And hello, movie lovers, and welcome to the show. With me, I have the Western Wonder himself here. I have the Western Wonder Reviews podcast. And today we are going to be diving into Five Nights at Freddy's. Now, this is going to be a non spoiler review. And basically, we're not going to give out anything in the ending or anything like that. But you know what, though? You guys just need to come with us to Freddy's Fazbear's Pizzeria and join us as we discuss the mysteries, lore, and jump scares of the iconic horror game that you fell in love with, and this movie that you're not going to fall in love with. And you've been a fan of the Friday Nights at Freddy's from the very beginning. So the skeptic who's finally getting into the Five Nights at Freddy's lore, together all explore the dark corridors of Freddy's universe. For further ado, let's get into it. And how you doing, Western?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. It's good to have you on here to talk about Five Nights at Freddy's. Here's the thing. I'm not. I actually seen gameplay of this with Markiplier. I really was intrigued with the gameplay of that because I'm too poor to buy the video game at that time. Therefore, I was not able to buy it. And so I just watched other people play it, and I was actually intrigued with the fact that you're actually a security guard guarding this pizzeria place for kids. It's like a Chuck E. Cheese,
Mhm.
and you're just a security guard, and that's something that I like. I liked how the premise was, and how easy and simplistic it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
But from you watching gameplay, what did you think of the game? And then we'll get into the actual review itself.
Um, I kind of got into it a bit late. I don't really think I was really into that gaming side of YouTube, especially that young. I think I was 9 or 10 when the first Five Nights at Freddy's game dropped, because this was a really old, long franchise. So I really didn't feel the jump scares initially. I thought, the gameplay was interesting at least. The security guard, like you said, having to stay in this place for 5 nights in a row. I personally wouldn't, but he's better than me.
But here's the thing: I definitely like how it opens up with the main character and stuff like that too. And
Mhm.
I definitely like the setup of the fact that this guy who's actually having these nightmares and things like that, and now he's trying to find a job to support his sister Abby. And
Mhm.
the main character's name is Mike, and
Mike.
I like the charismatic aspects of Abby and Mike together. I thought
Mhm.
that worked. I really liked the whole entire idea of where they show us the whole setup of the security cameras and things like that inside the pizzeria too, because it does actually feel like the video game. It actually does feel like you're watching the security cameras along with Mike and along with the first security guard that winds up getting killed at the very beginning of it. So that way Mike can take over from there. I
Yep.
thought initial setup was good. I thought the setup between Mike and Abby was good. Right for you.
I agree with you as well. And furthermore, to drive that point, I really do like how the animatronics were designed. I know people were having a particular tiff online with how the CGI would work, but I think it was smoothly done just fine. It wasn't too much of an issue with the movie. Um, yeah, it was. I think that's one big positive that I can say. The animatronics weren't
Yeah,
too
I think the
cringy looking.
animatronics look all right. I just think
Yeah.
that Willy's Wonderland did it better as far as the animatronics go. And it's not fair to compare that movie to this one. But when Willy's Wonderland beats out Five Nights at Freddy first, and Five Nights at Freddy gets released a couple of years later, you have no choice but to compare the two of them.
Yeah.
Because the same concept, it's a little bit different. And I don't know why they decided to do this. I don't know why on Green Earth that they decided to even put to put Mike's aunt or mother in this movie to try and take Abby away from her, away from Mike and everything. I just didn't get that concept. I'm like, It was more fun just watching Mike be a security guard, getting hired for this job position, and then being on that journey with him inside Five Nights at Freddy's,
Yeah.
without having to go ahead and make the aunt or mother the motivation for this film and stuff like that. That's like a side plot that didn't even be a side plot, to be honest.
Yeah. I didn't think that the aunt really had much time to be a character to have much development in the first place. So it kind of threw me off a bit. She
She's
just kind of
very
came
one
in.
dimensional.
Yeah.
No layers to any of the, no layers, no structure to any of the characters. Then again, this is a video game fit for 10 and 12-year-olds, so too. So
Yeah.
of course it's gonna fit to that audience. But at the same time, I wanted the aunt to be a little bit more on the scarier side of I'm gonna try and take your sister away from you.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, yeah, she's evil. She gets the lawyer to sit down in the whole entire conversation while she's trying to hire these people to basically destroy Freddy's pizzeria. You wind
Yeah.
up seeing that play out. Then you also
Mhm.
see her hiring these guys to basically destroy the building, and there's nothing. And she pays them $2,000 to do that.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah, man. Oh, it's a
I
lot of
just
guys to get through.
and then she's got the lawyer present with her. He's like, I don't
Hmm.
think I should be here. She sits him back down just to show how evil she is because she wants this lawyer to make
Right.
sure she hears every damn thing that she has to say.
The other villain. It's not the
Right.
animatronic. She's
And this
the
poor lawyer is like just as awkward as we are. It's like, what the hell am I doing here? And he's
like, why am
basically
I even here on this movie set?
right.
I'm supposed to be with the killer.
Because even whenever she goes, well, I'm gonna have my lawyer come after you if you don't do this. Because I'm not supposed to be here. I don't want to hear this.
Hmm.
And the aunt is like I said, she's supposed to be the driving point of trying to get the sister back from Mike. And it didn't need to be there. I don't think that B side of that subplot needed to be there. If just focus on Mike. And I get the fact on why they did that. They wanted us to care about Mike. They wanted us to care about the brother and sister dynamic. They could still
Hmm.
do that and just let Mike wind up taking over to the security office after he gets hired for Freddy's and still have the nightmares, but don't let it be part of the whole entire plot as to why your brother got taken and stolen.
Yeah.
It would have been a better, interesting story, in my opinion, if they went based off of how the lore was, where you have this legend of I'm not sure if these animatronics are actually putting people inside of these animatronics to make them become the way they are. And I think that would have been a lot more interesting than saying, "Oh, these kids actually got murdered, and now they're part of these animatronics." I think that that erases the whole entire mystery and legend kind of element to it, stuff like that. I don't think that they needed to have that in
Yeah, that's one thing that I had to remember. This is not the video game. The video game just kind of takes you right into the game, whereas with the movie adaptation, they have more time to kind of attempt to build Mike's character. I mean, and I've checked the time for this to make sure how long it would take until that doggone bear showed up. It took 37 minutes before Freddy Fazbear shows up in the movie. It's just kind of like, oh yeah, the movie's about
It's
him too.
basically, if you think about it, it's like Five Nights at Freddy featuring Freddy. It's not even that's all it is. He's just there
Right.
doing some tap dances, and he's like, "Okay, I'm out."
That's why my
Basically,
promotional images have been Freddy Goes to Live Aid. That's going to be the sequel where he turns to Freddie Mercury. He goes solo. He gets his own movie. Just hopefully more historically accurate.
right? But I just wanted to care more about Mike, and I think if you just put him inside the building and let us be on this journey with Mike, it's more interesting that way, and therefore we can still care about him, and you still get a lot more out of it. And
Yep.
then and you don't even tell us how many days he's actually in there. Yeah, it's supposed to be 5 nights, but I thought it was going to be that
Right.
slow build of the 5 nights, like day one, day two, day three, nothing to indicate on the actual number.
Yeah. Because if you don't get caught, you're going to be doing a lot of waiting in the actual game. This one was just kind of plots and plots and plots and plots. There's just a lot going on.
And there's also a lot of cringeworthy moments in this and everything too. Like whenever the cop just shows up and tells Mike if he sees his sister over at the pizzeria again, over at Freddy's again, that she's gonna put a fucking bullet in his face. I'm like, girl, settle down. Your job is not
No,
that
and she put
serious.
emphasis like when Will Smith yelled, "Keep my wife's name out of your." She put emphasis on it, like this is gonna be some heavy hitting stuff here. Didn't
Exactly.
she?
I'm like, girl, settle down, okay? I'm sure that this little small town is not paying you enough just to be at this one place, at this one location, to make sure, you know,
It's like, huh?
she's taking her job way too serious. And she's actually
Indeed.
overacting this, though, too. She's like, okay, I gotta be this cop. Okay, what do I have to do? Okay, what we want you to do is we want you to really sell it, okay?
Hmm.
Mike is gonna have his little sister over at the Freddy's, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and have him over there, letting her spend the night, so that way she can at least stay there for one night. But you don't like it, so this is what I want you to do. I want you to put the emphasis on. I'm gonna put a fucking bullet in your head.
And
Okay?
y'all are gonna build a fort with the animals, and you're gonna lay under it like all of y'all are just friends all of a sudden. I'm like, is there a scene I missed or two? Because Mike was very apprehensive of the animatronics when he first saw them in action. So they're just cool now.
Right? And I'm like, I just don't get it. I really don't. I'm like, okay, one minute you're afraid of them, next minute you're embracing them, the next minute they're evil again. And there's like no in between. At first, I'm thinking, okay, so do they actually feed on the fact that okay, Mike has this condition with his brother to the where it's like, oh, we're mentally messed up just like you are. So guess what? We're not going to hurt you or your sister. So therefore, you are going to be our guy who winds up working the security, and we're going to attack anybody that comes into this place.
Yeah,
That's
it's
what
kind of
I
like
got out of it,
a two-faced cocaine bear, but take out the coke.
right? And all you get is Coca Cola.
Right, and the gore.
Right.
No gore.
But am I wrong or am I right about this, man? Like, I just didn't feel like that. It was just all over the place. It wanted to be one thing, it didn't, and then it winds up being something else.
Yep. I
And
agree with that sentiment. It should have just, I don't know, stuck with just sticking to the pizzeria. Give us, some more scares. I know it has a younger audience, so it doesn't have to
well,
be,
I would have been.
be gore,
Here's the
but
thing: I was okay with the babysitter aspect of it, even though
yeah,
she was in with cahoots with the aunt who was trying to take Abby away from Mike. But if you got rid of that part, hey Jojo, how are you doing tonight? It's good to see you commenting. I thank you so much. But you see, though, if you think about it like this, though, man, okay, you take away that element of, my boys love the movie. I'm glad they did. I'm glad that they did. I'm glad that your boys loved it. I just wish Western and I had the same sentiments about it. But I understand it's geared towards more the 10 and 12-year-olds, like we mentioned, and stuff like that. It's not
right.
for us as the adults that want to be frightened by this thing.
Yeah, if
But,
we were hardcore, we probably would have appreciated it more. And if we were younger too.
right. But since I'm 38 and you're so,
Worried about
but
Fright
okay,
Night.
but what I was trying to get at though, man, okay, so I think if you took out the element of the fact that this babysitter is working with this aunt who's angry at Mike, and
Mhm.
just let her be the babysitter, let her just watch Abby. That's it. That's all she had to do was just sit her ass there, and that's it. Let her be the babysitter. And then Mike goes to work. Then we go on ahead and see spooky shit happen. Then he comes back
Yeah,
home, and then
yeah,
he hangs out with his sister a little bit more, develop more character development with the sister, make us care about
yeah.
her. I don't want you to go, Mike. I don't want you to go. I want to go with you to Freddy's. Okay, sis, I'll go on ahead. It's scary over there, but I'll still take you. Go on ahead, take the sister. And then that's when the shit goes down on the fifth night.
Everything just falls the way down.
There's no timeline. There is no timeline on how many days this is. It's supposed to be 5 days. I understand
It
it
could
says
have
it
been
in the
30 for
title.
all we know. It could have been 30.
30 days. That don't even go with the title. 30 days at Freddy's? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, he probably would have lost it by day 28. See, especially if he was in a Nightmare on Elm Street universe, he would have messed with the wrong Freddy. He sleeps every night.
And that's another thing too. Okay, I don't get the whole entire nightmare. Like you can have the nightmare element, but don't let it be connected into what he. There is no need actually for his brother to be taken. Just let it be
Mhm.
about this brother and sister who basically he's going through some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like basically not being able to sleep at night, having nightmares, having to be on these
Yeah.
sleeping pills and stuff. But,
Yeah.
but yeah. But I know you had some stuff that you wanted to talk about as far as some other cringeworthy stuff.
Yeah, man. The first half, I was not expecting a backstory. I thought we were just gonna go right to the pizzeria. So for me, it just dragged. It was a big time drag. I mean, yawning, snoring, sleeping drag. I was just like, is Freddy gonna show up at all in this movie? And here comes 37 minutes. He does a little performance. You know, and then we're in it. But like I said, it's a mixture of cringeworthy things and a lot of moments that could have went places. Like the children in the dream sequence. At first, it was like a ABC after school special, and then they kind of progressed to like they could have been extras on Children of the Corn if they could have went in that direction. But they
Ex-
don't really do
Right.
much with them. They
I
don't,
just
man.
don't.
So yeah.
I wanted to like this because of the fact of the concept and the originality behind it and stuff, but
Hmm.
it just didn't land for me. And then, okay, those guys that break in, right? They all get killed. There's no blood splatter. There's nothing. It was like as if we played the video game. Those bodies disappear after so many minutes, and they're no longer there. And then
Yeah.
you don't see them even whenever when the cop goes into the basement looking for for the the tablecloth for the fourth.
Hmm.
I thought, okay, she's gonna see the bodies. Nope, they're gone. I'm like, okay, where did the animatronics just decide that they're gonna clean up after themselves after they killed the person and act like
Yeah,
nothing even happened?
because it's movie logic, John. It's movie
Oh, wait, wait,
logic.
wait, 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 though. These, they're the most cleanest ones that I ever seen whenever it comes down to cleaning up after killing somebody.
All right.
Okay? But they don't clean up the tables that are demolished or anything. They leave that for
Mm.
Mike to do.
Right, like you do it. You the one that works here. Security.
Right? Look, we already
You're a janitor too.
handled the heavy load, Mike. So you're gonna. I agree with your dog,
Yes.
but it's like Mike. We handled the heavy load. We did a lot for you. We killed a couple of people that tried breaking in, and we killed some people for you. We cleaned up your mess. But oops, my bad. We forgot to pick up after ourselves with our chairs, with the tables and everything. We left that for you to do. But I'm gonna go back on
Mm.
stage, and you can have a good time. But
Look at that.
no, uh, like and then even the part with the pharmacy though too. They were mentioning in the green room, and going ahead. You do it. You do this.
Okay, so whose picture are we playing?
Okay. Well, son, what all you need is a little lemon and a little water, and you'll be
Give
good.
me.
Asshole. I was just trying to help. And
That was funny though.
I'm like, dude,
Like the
it's like,
pharmacist
just
was
give me my
being
medicine.
really nice. I would have taken his advice. Probably not, but I would have listened.
Thank you. It kind of reminds me of that Eminem skit off of the Marshall Mathers LP1 where you have put the money in the bag. Put the money in the bag and I won't hurt you.
Now I gotta
Shoots.
listen to that. Because when I
You
think of put
never
the money in the bag, I think of SpongeBob with that sock on his head, trying to rob a bank.
I'll give you more context later. But you know, I just thought that they missed the mark with this film, and then also too, like even when then all of a sudden the bodies just show up again when all the spooky stuff starts happening. I'm like, what, what just happened?
Like, oh, now we're okay. Well, that happened.
And then you have the little apple thing eating people's nuts. Well, not nuts, but they're eating
I
people's
think it was
legs
a
and crap.
cup. Was it a cupcake or an
Yeah,
apple? I couldn't tell.
it was a cupcake.
Yeah, yeah.
This
I
movie
don't
was just
remember
poorly
the
executed.
cupcake being it, so that definitely had to have been in the later game. I know the ending dog. One of the other animatronics that show up at the end was on one of the later games, but
But I do
I
like
don't
the
remember the
fact that
cupcake.
Matthew Lillard is in this movie because at
Yes.
first and you know what it reminded me of though, The Shining when Jack Nicholson goes in for the interview and then he's sitting down next to him and he's explaining certain things. So that part I liked at the very beginning, and I liked how Matthew Lillard put it. And then you get into the plot twist, which I'm not going to get into, but
Yeah, unfortunately. You gotta watch the
it,
movie.
it reminded me of Scooby Doo. Let's just put it like that.
Oh,
The
so
way
he
they
was
did this.
Shaggy in your head and not the screen.
No, he was more like, you know what I'm saying? I would get away with this, you kid, if it wasn't for your stupid dog.
I get it. I
That's
get it. He does a nod to Scream though with the little knife motion in one scene, but yeah,
right.
yeah, I get it.
That part reminded me of so much of Scooby Doo. It's not even funny. And
Right.
like I said, that the opening alone sold me up until we got what we got later on. And in an hour and 49 minutes, I thought that thank God I'm not in this for 2 hours. I'm glad I was also streaming this on Peacock.
Me too. Like I'm gonna do better with theater watches next year, but yeah, I would have skipped this easily.
I would have been mad. I would have
I
been
was like,
mad.
okay, it's gonna make money. The reviews are gonna come out nice, and I saw those numbers just drop, drop.
But I was actually surprised to see that the numbers grew. Like,
On the audience side or the critic side, because the
well,
audience side
no,
was
I'm
very
talking
good.
about like no, I'm talking about like how much it
Oh, box
grossed right now.
office. Okay.
20 million was the budget, and it made 149.3 million. And this is Blumhouse, and Blumhouse makes money for cheap, makes horror movies for cheap.
It's a big franchise.
But what I like about Blumhouse is they don't spend $200 million.
$200. I hope not. It's just going to be a container in the plastic
It's gonna
box.
be one night at Freddy's instead of 5 nights.
Right, just one night, probably 1 hour at Freddy's.
Not even an hour, like 5 minutes. 5 minutes at Freddy's instead of if it was like $200 budget.
Right, would have been a great short film.
But I want to praise this film. I wanted to like it. I just can't like it.
Yeah.
And and that's one thing I have to say about Blumhouse is this. Okay, they're hit and miss for me, but from what's on paper to screen,
Mhm.
I like. Well, it's different from screen from the pages to the screen is what I meant to say. But I like the
Gotcha.
ideas that Blumhouse has because they're original and they're different. But with this, it's a franchise, like you said, and I'm just trying. I'm just, but
Yeah.
what else can we actually say about this other than it's a
Well,
movie?
Cocaine Bear
Um,
let me down the first time, so I wasn't really as let down watching this whole thing.
I'll tell you what was a better film though was Willy's Wonderland because
Yes, because you are a Willy's Wonderland aficionado, right? Or at least a Nicolas Cage
I actually
aficionado. I'm
own the
sorry.
Blu-ray because at least I kept the plot simple with Willy's Wonderland compared to
Yeah.
this. We have a guy who breaks down. He winds up working off his debt to pay for his tires because the person wants him to work and clean up the place. Okay, Nicolas Cage does it. No dialogue with the main character, but we're
Yeah.
still wondering when is shit gonna hit the fan, and we actually care about this character and laughing with this character because of the ridiculous stuff he's doing, and he also fought them. And why? Okay, my thing is this: why don't you just throw water on the animatronics? Why are you
Right.
gonna go ahead and just get a taser gun? And then hold on. This is the thing. This is what drove me nuts. You get a taser gun, but before they do that, they throw water on the bottom where the bear is, and then they put then the guy goes on ahead and Mike takes the taser and puts it in the water because it's one of those taser guns where the spikes are the things pop out and electrocutes the bear and the rest of the animatronics.
Right.
I'm like, okay, so you just decided to do this.
And they're not apex predators, see, because if this was like, cold-blooded killers, they would have noticed that a mile away.
Right. And he was too busy singing. Freddy was too busy singing anyways.
Because he's trying to go to Live Aid. Don't you see?
No, they're not even part of Live Aid. They're just a garage rock band that's trying to make it still. That's what they are. They can't even get their guitar to work because Abby gets electrocuted with the damn guitar.
You're right.
Mike, am I okay? I don't know, Abby. You got electrocuted pretty bad.
And since you said she looks like Dora the Explorer to you, I was about to say,
she looks like damn Dora.
Can you say blindness?
My favorite thing though is when she does this, Mike, am I okay? And Mike goes, yeah, you just got electrocuted. Like, what? And so let me get this straight.
Yeah, he was too nonchalant.
Okay, I know I said I wasn't gonna spoil anything. But the cop gets stabbed. She's on a breathing tube. Abby gets electrocuted. It's fine. because she's the main character. Sister.
Am I okay, John?
I don't know, Western.
I see Demogorgons. Help me.
You're in the Upside Down? Is that right? Oh no.
I think
I'm gonna
so.
have nightmares. I better go to. Oh my god. The main character does have.
That's why I started doing that. I was waiting for you to catch him.
It's been a long day. But, Mike, I think I'm trapped in the Upside Down. Okay, well, I'm gonna go back to the pharmacy and get me some more pills.
What an asshole.
He won't give me my pills, so you're screwed. But this movie is not good.
Yeah.
And anytime that they release an embargo on the same day as a movie for critics to watch, and there's also putting it on streaming services. 99.9% of the time, it's not good. Because it shows that the studios don't have trust in this, doesn't have faith in it, so why should we as the audience care and have faith in it if you don't have faith in your own work? And the only movie that I could say that did good whenever there was an embargo that was released close to the same day as the release was John Wick Chapter 1. And that was it. Yeah. And there was not that much marketing around John Wick. Word of mouth got around, and that's how John Wick became the way it was. This is not even gonna. This movie.
See, Mike don't got enough, pain in his heart. His dog didn't die.
But yeah. Any other final thoughts on this though? I know that I've been talking a lot.
Yeah, man, it's not really much to say here. It's nearly 2 hours that I will probably never get back.
Well, it's only an hour and 49, Western. You made it seem like it was like a.
It was pushing it. It was pushing it. Like, even if it wasn't Killers of the Flower Moon time limit, I probably would have put an intermission when they started kicking in.
I would have just put it in timeout. I'd be like, I'm done.
Like, this is how the movie ends. You're just gonna.
But you know what though? I found myself doing this. I was actually pausing the film to see how much time was left.
That I was doing the same thing. I was
doing that. I was literally doing that, man. Like, I'm like, oh great. And then I turned into Deadpool. Did I leave the stove on?
I mainly did it because I was like, is Freddy gonna show up within the first hour? And then here he comes at 37 minutes, like he was here the whole time, like he's Chuck E.
Well, he was
Cheese.
only in there for like a
Let's
brief
do it.
minute though, with the opening scene with the security guard, and then after that he disappears, just like how the
Yeah.
bodies disappeared in this movie.
See, that movie was a dream. I forgot all of. Sorry.
But yeah, so if you guys want to check out Five Nights at Freddy's, it's on Peacock right now. You guys can watch it for free, get tortured the same way that Western and I did. Then you can
Yep.
comment back over here and tell me how much you liked it or you didn't like it. Smash that subscribe button and everything. Western, do you have anything coming out as far as shows go or anything like that?
Well, this review is going to be a bonus episode for my podcast. Working on some upcoming reviews. Hopefully, I'll get the Mario thing situated and put out for the Mario folks out there. Also, some classic movie reviews coming up on my channel. Bowfinger. Once upon a time in Hollywood, it was Bowfinger. It's true cinema, as well
Before
as
there
The Wiz.
was
I
Five
call
Nights at
that
Freddy's, there was Bowfinger.
Bowfinger. You know what they say about those Hollywood movies.
Okay. Anyways, Freddy got fingered.
That's a good one.
Anyways, guys, that's gonna be it as far as our Five Nights at Freddy's review. I hope that you guys enjoy it. If you want to, go on ahead, give us a 5-star review on wherever you guys get your podcast from. And we'll be back again on Monday. And also, too, this month we are doing our Thanksgiving Day movies. So go on ahead, vote on what movie you would like for us to review, and we will do that. So go on ahead, go over to the community section and vote over there. And always until next time, guys.
And stay tuned for mine. Take care.
Take care, everyone. Bye bye.